Red lights are on, the lights will go out and the race gets underway, and this time a much even start between the top two, but up the gear, Stuart Place has got the advantage, so Stuart Place will lead, but it's pretty tight behind. There's a couple of batches of cars going free abreast, but it's the championship leader, Stuart Place, who turns into Riches as the leader. Deere is second, third is
three abreast.
Who was third? Martin Rogers, I think, into third place, so a good start from him in the third of the Peugeots. Then you've got Robert Campbell, James Hazelhurst has got the better of him, I think. You've got Ben Bateman on the outside, but a really good start actually from Martin Rogers, 6th to 3rd.
That's an excellent start there. He really got that dug in, but looking further back, we did have the youngsters side by side, but at the moment it looks like from the youngsters, Finn Groom has got the better of Ben Bateman there. They're currently in about 6th or 7th place there, but a great start there by Martin Rogers. I think he 6th or 7th on the grid, wasn't he? An excellent start indeed.
Yeah, so he hasn't had really the best of seasons, so he's hoping for a podium, I'm sure. 5 Peugeots in the top 5. What's going on
don't
here?
rub it in. I'm rooting for the XR2. Come on, Finn.
Which is, something very quite rare, isn't it? This year has seemed to be a bit more Peugeot dominated than previous seasons. We had a Vauxhall win last time out at Cadwell. Here's Stuart Place, who turns into the left-hander at Hamilton with his rival Chris Deere behind. Then Rogers, Hazelhurst and Campbell. But we have a better start this time in 5th place. Let's see if he can sort of settle in now into a battle.
Now, I'm sure what he'd be doing, he'd be sitting behind these guys, just waiting. As you can see, those cars there of Rogers and Hazelhurst having a little battle. I'm sure he'll just sit back, follow them for a few laps and see what develops. There's Graham Reese there, just showing that he can get up there. He's starting to get the hang of this car. A little bit of a wiggle out of there, but that's such a hard corner because you want to get that corner absolutely perfect for this straight. You need a maximum drive down this straight as Stuart Place, Chris Deere, Martin Rogers and James Hazelhurst go under the bridge.
So there's Stuart Place, the race leader, looking for win number 8 this season, ahead of Chris Deere, who, if anything's fallen into the clutches of those behind, being led by Martin Rogers. Martin Rogers, whose best result has been a 4th this season, which was yesterday, so he's having his best weekend of the season for sure.
It's like a little train there. I've never seen it this close on the first lap. This is 3 miles, and it's like a little train of all these cars. What an impressive start by everybody. Nice and clear. Oh, a little bit of puff of smoke there from a car further back. I think that was the dub machine as he braking for that corner. But look at this, a lovely line of wonderful classic vehicles.
And Chris Deere has re-caught Stuart Place, so he's back with him. So our 2 championship contenders, I think they're basically the only 2 that left who can win it. And they are in the top 2 positions, 0.3 of a second apart, but it is Place ahead.
Ooh, look at Ben Bateman there trying to get the inside line for the first corner, and he gets through, but will Finn be able to get the cutback as they go back down the straight? That was an incredible move.
And side by side behind as well between Andy Philpotts and Titch Kelsall, I think, but Hazelhurst is going for 3rd. He's on the inside of Rogers. There's the Bateman and Groom battle you were describing to us, Paul, and it's Bateman ahead.
Oh, yes, Bateman's just got ahead there after that wonderful move on the first corner. Like you say, it looked like was it James Hazelhurst got the better of Martin Rogers there. Could have had a better exit into the corner for the hairpin. And there they go. Yes, there's James Hazelhurst. He's in front. He wants to prove a point after, like you say, he got a little bit muscled out towards the end of the race yesterday, and he's definitely itching. And there we are. We have those 2 youngsters side by side again as they go towards, is that Nelson? Which corner is that?
Down to Agostini.
I don't know what the corners are. I just go around them. And there we go. And Ben Bateman's still on the inside line holding that. And there is... that's Darren Bassingthwaite there in front of Andy Philpotts. So what a great move. And look at the front again. That's what a bit of sideways there by Martin Rogers, getting the pressure from Campbell. And Campbell has got right up his boot. Look at that. He's pushing him round the corner.
Yeah, maybe a little bit too much, but Martin Rogers was able to hold on to it.
Oh, Finn Groom's got back on the inside of Ben Bateman further back. Oh, what a race. Look at this.
And Neil Dudman's involved in that battle as well, so all 3 of them together. Robert Campbell just ahead in 47 for the lead, though it's still number 87. Stuart Place is still ahead of Chris Deere.
Oh, who's that gone over the grass?
That Finn Groom possibly on grass tracking, bouncing back on. Hazelhurst is 3rd, so he did get past Rogers, then Campbell, then Bateman is 6th, Dudman is next. Finn Groom, after that off-track excursion, is coming under pressure from cars behind, so he's dropped back a little bit because of that.
That was incredible. Oh, a little bit wide there and looking further back. Yeah, Ben Bateman got really onto the grass there. But there he is. Campbell there getting a much better start to this race. He's not that far behind Chris Deere at all. He'll be itching to get on the podium if he can. Looking further back. Now you've got Ben Bateman there. And yes, he's managed to get 2 places. You've got Titch Kelsall, but he's all over the back of Finn Groom.
So they're going to come through to complete lap 2 of a 15-minute sprint race. There's Ben Bateman. Neil Dudman settling back in well after the incident yesterday. Neil, pretty inexperienced, hasn't done that much racing there. Stuart Place, who does not hug the pit wall like Chris Deere does, which is a more traditional racing line, but Place is a second quicker on that lap, so the gap is out to 1.4 seconds.
And there's Neil Dubman trying to get as close as he can towards Ben Bateman as they come towards the first corner. But there we go. There's Ben Bateman, and Neil Dubman wanted to prove a point after yesterday because he was in about 3rd or 4th place when the unfortunate incident happened yesterday. And Finn Groom is not letting them get away. And Titch Kessel, another local man, it's great to see him back out there. He's all over the back of them as well.
So in this battle, you've got the Vauxhall Nova, the Peugeot 205, and a Ford Fiesta XR2. So 3 different types of cars battling. How do you think the 3 cars sort of compare to one another around the lap?
Well, it's very difficult because the XR2s are excellent at exiting the corners and taking the corners and breaking late for them. But then you've got the other cars, they've got the power, they've got the injection system, they've got much more power. So as it comes towards the bottom of the straights, the injection cars do get the better. I see a bit of a dent there in Finn Groom's door. I've never noticed that before. But here we go. And Finn Groom is trying to go round the outside of Neil Dunman. But he's going to hold it. How on earth have he done that? He's going to stick there. But the trouble is, Neil Dunman will have the inside line for this next corner, which is quite quick. But no, Finn Groom has got the place, and he's now got his eyes purely set on Ben Bateman again. Good grief, this is excellent racing, and this is more common. It's very rare that the 205s have dominated in the past like they have today, but this shows you what we usually see, different marks battling bumper to bumper.
Yeah, Finn Groom's got that big dent in the door. I wonder if that happened a lap ago here when he was on the grass. I think that was involved in this battle, possibly with Neil Dudman.
A little bit wide there by Finn Groom. That's such a tough corner there, but he managed to hold on. He's definitely got the brains to keep it on the track, but he's taken a slightly different line. Now he really wants to get behind here. The XR2 does struggle in the straight line, and he really could do with a toe. And there he is. He's gone behind Neil Dubman again. Dubman using the power of the GTI to get by him.
Yeah, that's right. Still with Ben Bateman, who pops up the curb. It's a line you used in the past,
that's mine. Yeah, there's lots of pictures of me on 2 wheels hitting that sausage curb, but yeah, it's quite scary. We had a roll about 10 years ago there, quite a bad roll of 205. Oh, Neil Dunman is going for the inside line on Ben Bateman, but is he going to make that pay? Ben will hold his much as he can. He's to come round the outside of Corm. Such a difficult corner. You're going round at 80, 85 miles an hour, and then you have to brake for this tight left-hander. But no, we all got nice little lines, so Ben Bateman managed to keep the place.
And they're catching Robert Campbell in 5th, so they're going after the car ahead for the lead of the race. Stuart Place is now 1.7 seconds ahead of Chris Deere as he continues to pull away, but it's side by side there. With Robert Campbell, what a problem. He's been caught, and he looks like those behind are going ahead. Ben Bateman's gone ahead, Neil Dudman's gone ahead, and Robert Campbell slotted in behind. So he's dropped to 7th. For some reason, he was slower down the straight, Paul.
I wonder if he had a little bit of an incident on that tight left-hander we were talking about. There is a sausage curb there as well. I wonder if it compromised his exit, and of course, you compromise your exit there, you can lose 5 miles an hour on the bottom of the straight, and that's why he's lost 2 places. That's what I suspect.
Okay, so he's now...
Oh, Finn Groom's got... actually, maybe he's got a problem. Because look at the way Finn Groom just drove alongside him. And he's got past him so easy. Like you say, I'm wondering if he's got a problem.
Looked like he waved him past. I think inside the cockpit, it looked like he waved him past. So obviously something going on for Robert Campbell. Although, on his last lap, he did do his personal best lap. So the cars behind are pretty quick. So the ones who are now ahead of him. So for Ben Bateman, he is over a second quicker than Martin Rogers. So let's see if Ben...
Ooh.
Yeah, they're almost with Martin Rogers already, actually. So they are chasing after the car for...
Oh, look at that. Finn Groom still making Neil Dubman work for that. Look at that car tripoding as it goes around the corner. We got our suspension set so stiff. You will see that quite a lot on these cars where they end up going tripod. Look there, you can just see on Finn's Groom, just a wheel just skipping over the ground, but it's all over the back. What a fantastic battle from these two.
So they turn their way through the right-hander there at Williams. This time I think Finn Groom didn't run too wide as he had on the last couple of laps. And they head their way down the Bentley Straight, where at the end of the straight where Stuart Place leads. He's got this advantage that is extending. As Chris Deere dropping into the clutches of James Hazelhurst.
That's what it looks like. Look, yes, Hazelhurst there has really caught up. I'm wondering if maybe he has a problem. I mean, he has dropped off the back of Stuart Place quite significant. Martin Rogers got a little bit wide there, but then we have this little gaggle of all these different marks. But yes, he's definitely dropping back, or maybe James has really, after yesterday, he really put out about the fact that he got knocked down. And there we go. James is all over the back of Chris Deere. I'm wondering if maybe the ballast weight that Chris Deere is carrying, he's carrying 45 kilos. I wonder if this is really starting to pay. I wonder if he overworked his tyres early in the race and it's slowing him up. He's definitely well in the clutches of James Hazelhurst.
So here they come through with probably 3 laps to go. So we had 4 laps so far. Stuart Place has gone through. Now, interestingly, Place's lap times are going up. They did a 24, then a 25, then a 26, where James Hazelhurst is getting quicker and quicker, and he's caught up with Chris Deere. Obviously, we've mentioned about these new tyres these cars are running. A few people telling me yesterday they're struggling with the tyres this weekend, perhaps understeering a bit, and James Hazelhurst is up the inside, an easy move in the end to get past Chris Deere, last year's champion.
That was incredibly easy. Like you say, I'm wondering if he does have a problem, and now it's going to be damage limitation. Now, this is really going to hurt his championship retention hopes here. But he'll try and stay behind James. Maybe he's just thought maybe the problem, he'll try and nurse it back. He's only got about sort of 3 or 4 seconds back to the next Martin Rogers, Ben Bateman and Neil Dudman battle. So let's hope he doesn't fall in the clutches of him. But Ben Bateman has got by, has he got by? He has got by Martin Rogers, hasn't he?
And he was 2 seconds quicker than Chris Deere on the last lap, but James Hazelhurst is locked up and he's run wide, so Chris Deere's got a chance to fight back, but I think Hazelhurst has just about been able to hang on. But yeah, Ben Bateman 2 seconds quicker than Chris Deere on the last lap.
Oh, Chris Deere just gave him a bit of a love tap there to get him moving. It looks like Chris Deere has resigned himself to ending in that position, because he didn't really fight for that position, where in the past, if his car was 100%, he would have done so.
Yeah, so both Place and Deere are getting slower as the race is going on. They're both lapping 2 seconds slower than they did in the early stages. So I wonder, is that that ballast, the tyres going off a bit quicker than the others?
Possibly. You mentioned about these tyres. These tyres aren't quite as good as the 048 Yokis that we used to use. These tyres don't need a lot of warming up, and what tends to happen is as you get towards the latter half of the race, the front tyres on these that work so hard start to go off a bit. So it is definitely tyre management having to come into place. Because, a little bit of a puff of smoke there from the rear tyre as it got a bit light. There's
a black and orange mechanical warning flag going out to 42, Terry Deere. So the Metro has a problem, which is the officials want Terry to make his way down the pit lane and check that out.
Maybe it was the pizza we had last night. I don't know. We'll have to check that out later on. But Stuart Place, I think he's well comfortable here. He's just taking it easy. But yes, James has got away, and this will be a great finish for this young man. After yesterday, he was so put out. He was on a podium yesterday, and he's going to be so chuffed. And there's Chris Deere. He'll be trying to get his calculator out to see what he can do to claim his championship. But he's definitely heading Stuart Places. This will be his 8th win of the season, Josh. I've never heard of anything like this in this championship. I've been involved since 2011. I've never seen someone drive like this.
The Hazelhurst is quicker than Stuart Place. The gap is 3.2 seconds. There's 2 laps to go. Obviously, Hazelhurst had to get past Chris Deere, and he made a small mistake on the last lap, but he was still a couple of attempts quicker. Here's Terry Deere's car, Paul, so can we work out what might be wrong with the Metro?
Just looking there, I can't see it. Something does look a bit low on the front there, but I can't see anything worrying. Maybe something's rubbing at the back. We can't see anything. I wonder if it's maybe dropping fluid, because we definitely can't see anything. Looks like the exhaust. No, I can't see any issue there, so I'm not quite sure what that's about, Josh. I can't see anything obvious.
Okay, so that's one for you for over lunch to find out.
Find out, yes.
So the Chris Deere versus to Ben Bateman gap, that's less than 3 seconds. Bateman was over a second quicker on the last lap. Behind them, Neil Dudman's got the better of Martin Rogers. His bonnet started to come loose.
He's got a little bonnet issue. Now, he may get a flag for that, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. But what a great showing after what was quite a scary moment for him yesterday. But he's definitely got the better of Martin Rogers there. There's Martin Rogers. He's from up near Brigg, and he's been racing quite a few years now, yes, and he's very quick. I know myself. We had a great battles last year, and he pipped me to the 3rd place in the championship last year, which was very frustrating for me. But yeah, we can just see that bonnet just flapping away. That's obviously something from the incident yesterday, and there he is. He's definitely going to want to keep his sights on that Neil Dudman machine, just in case that it does present itself as more of a problem.
So there's Stuart Place. He's still got a good gap over Hazelhurst. We're at 3rd to 4th. Chris Deere to Ben Bateman. And lights flashing on Finn
here we
Groom.
go, Finn Groom. I don't think that's going to work, Finn. But I like your effort there. He's flashing there, trying to put him off, I think. But Finn, he's our youngest on there, and he's definitely shown that it can mess it. But they will see that it's only really on the faster bits where that starts flapping. So maybe they're not quite, marshals haven't noticed that. But there he is, Mike Rogers. They're still coming there. But like you say, Ben Bateman, he is getting closer, but I don't think he'll be close enough to Chris Deere because we're coming up now.
The gap was 3 seconds though, Portman. He's almost caught that on this lap, so he's massively quicker, Ben Bateman, than Chris Deere. I'm
desperately trying to see if we got the last lap board going out.
Yeah, I think so. No checking flag this time, so 1 lap to go for Stuart Place to get another step closer to the championship. It won't be done in this race, but it could be done later.
Yeah, look at that, Josh. Yes, you're quite right. He's not very far at all. What's that? He's about less than a second behind him.
Bateman was 2.3 seconds quicker than Chris Deere on that lap. So Ben Bateman snatched the podium at the end of the previous race. Let's see if he can get the better of Chris Deere again today.
Oh, this will really hurt Chris Deere. He's trying to make that. He's right up behind him for the hairpin. Yeah, I think he's caught him right up. He's right up his boot. Now, Chris Deere has obviously got a problem. And it looks like Ben Bateman is going to get the better of him. Another podium. And now the 2.205s there have got together as well. But as we look at the third place battle is the one we're trying to look at. Here we go. Ben Bateman's got the inside. Now, Chris has made that really easy. He's definitely got an issue because I wouldn't expect Chris Deere to go wide there to let Ben. He's making a suggestion that he might go past, but I think he's resigned himself to just finishing the race.
Yeah, he doesn't have a look to the inside. So perhaps Ben Bateman had a better exit to the hairpin. We didn't see that. Managed to get alongside, but certainly Chris Deere was on a wider line. He's certainly fighting back now, so I wonder if it was just Ben Bateman.
Oh, he's pushing him.
I wonder if Ben Bateman just got a better exit, Paul, and got down the inside.
That's what it looks like, but Ben's got away a bit wide there. It's a little bit of bump drafting there by Chris Deere, but I don't think he's got an answer for this man. Like you say, he's a good second lap quicker, which is quite significant. And, that'll be another podium for that young man.
Yeah, Ben Bateman's had a couple of thirds this year. James Hazelhurst has had 3 thirds. He's not had a better than that, though. So this second place, assuming he stays there on this last half a lap, will be the best result of the season for James Hazelhurst. But Stuart Place, again, is uncatchable for the rest. So here he comes in 87. Oh, it's Neil Dudman's. Perhaps he's had that problem with the bonnet. He's had to pull off.
Yeah.
So he was 5th, which that's another real shame for him. But yeah, Stuart Place, this has been an exceptional season as he turns his way with a couple of corners to go. Just got to get the car home. Through Coram he comes. It's been win number 8 of 11 this season, so he's only been beaten 3 times. He's had a second and a couple of fourths as well, which were last time out at Cadwell. But into Murray's he comes. It's going to be another step closer to the championship. It's not quite done yet, though. That's going to potentially come later. The checkered flag is going to go out for win number 8 of the season then for Stuart Place, who accelerates up to the checkered flag and takes the victory. Second place will go the way of James Hazelhurst, and third for Ben Bateman, both drivers who progressed well in that race.